All right, we are live. Very good. I'm happy to be alive and alive.
Live and alive.
Yeah, exactly. And hello, everybody. Welcome to Inspirational Bar Podcast, a podcast created to bring you inspirational people to share their life stories in bartending industry from start to success, and to share their point of view on bartending, on how to be champion, how to be better, and all those similar questions to inspire you to become better bartenders and better people. And today I'm very, very, very excited because I have a very special guest, and he's from my neighbor, from my native neighbor country. Let's see like that.
From your hood. From your
Yeah,
hood.
so
Yeah.
it's the closest person to me, talking from the perspective where I'm from. It's this neighbor country, and I'm very excited to present him and to hear and share his story with you. And I want to present you Tomek Malek, a world flair champion, champion in flair bartending, and I would really love to know how to become a champion. So, hi Tom, how are you?
Hey, very good, very good. Thank you very much for the invitation. Great to be here, and lovely to see you all virtually. I wish to have this meeting in live, but as we know, situation is like it is. So yeah, I'm here in Warsaw, Poland, in my bar, in the Roots Cocktail Bar, which I've been running for last 5 years now.
All right.
Recently, of course, we had to close as we have a full lockdown here in Poland.
I think
So we
everywhere
start.
in the world, or like, because I know in Lithuania was like that. In America, I'm not sure if all states, but where I'm in Florida, yeah, for sure was full lockdown.
It's changing from country to country. Even here in Europe, in some countries they have like a soft lockdown, sometimes full. In some places they go still operate. So depends on how many new cases they have, I believe. And unfortunately, here in Poland, the situation is pretty serious for the last 2 months.
Hmm.
So we've been closed for last 2 months now. Not
But
operating, definitely not until 27th of December. We have to remain closed, and I'm afraid it will be postponed for another couple of weeks, as they're not gonna like to open for a New Year Eve. I'm afraid.
it's a
Probably
probably
we will open later on.
will be probably for you the first three New Year evening in many years.
That's true, and I kind of look forward, to be honest, for New Year Eve because I've been always working, and we've been doing well a great parties here in the Roots in my bar. It's been always a great night. But same time, as you say, I've been bartending for last 18 years, and to be honest, I can't remember free New Year Eve. So I look forward. I will see how it is this
It
time.
will be different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, Thomas. So I already heard that you were bartending for 18 years. So it's a lot. Some people just turn to the not some all people. Most people in the world just can start drinking when they are 18, and you already was bartending for that period of time. Like, so that's very long time and very great and big experience. And I would like to know. Uh, Now we know you are world plate champion. So I would like to know your uh, I would like to know your path in bartending, your journey in bartending industry from start. How did you start it? How you involved, and then your journey
Uh-huh.
to world champion, and then your journey from champion from that moment, let's say, to today. Where you are owning
Hmm.
a bar, you are one of the owners of the bar, as I know. Uh, just share the story because it's very
Sure.
inspirational. For
Yeah.
people that start or people who just do it for some time and think that it's just pouring drinks and don't see nothing more. Uh, it's actually possible to do much more, and that's why I created this podcast. So I
Nice, thank you. Yeah, so it all started in my case in 2003 when I finished secondary school. I started to study, and as all students, I was in need of a bit of money, so I was looking for a job. I was lucky enough. My mom sponsored my first bartending course in MSBIS. This is a school, bartending school here in Poland. And after this course, I was lucky to get a job in the best club that days in Poland, full of stars, celebrities, models, politicians, and a really high volume bar. At the same time, we had a crazy cocktail list of 70 cocktails, 70 cocktails in a club, in a high volume club. So it was a jump into very deep water. Let's say straight after course without experience to start straight on the main part of the bar, high volume. So I have to say the first year was a bit of a struggle. It was tough. But later on, from a barback to a bartender, I started to learn more, and I was very lucky that a part of the team was the best flair bartenders back in the days. The best flair bartending crew, that was Cezary Broda, Michael Kośnik, Zalewski, and Łukasz Matusiak, 4 best guys in Poland back in the days. And I've seen flair from a very good perspective. 2003, 2004 was totally different. There was no YouTube, no Facebook, no Instagram. You could only go to the competition to see moves, or you could go to the bar, or maybe if you were lucky, you could get the
movie 5 times.
or watch cocktail movie. But well, those moves we get in the first couple of days of practicing. There was nothing to practice from that movie, so it was totally different. It was still super exciting to see someone flipping bottles behind the bar. You had to travel. People were traveling half of the Europe for competitions to see other moves, to inspire each other. It was I think the best time for flair back then. And everyone was practicing for a competition or for a show, and that's why it was so exciting. Now I can see more and more people just practicing to post clips on Instagram, on the Facebook. You open Facebook, Instagram, you have so many moves that it's nothing that exciting to see. Back then, you had to go to the special place to see some of these moves. So we started. Of course, it's still exciting, but back then it was just unknown.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky that I started with these guys, as they had already good skills. They learned me. They taught me how to get it started and how to practice from basics. But it took us very long time to come up with the moves. We didn't know what is walking flair. We had no free pourers. We had a few shakers. So it was kind of different than now. Now everything is under one click. You can order, and next day's DHL is knocking your door. But same time it was great because we were really developing all the basic moves, and it took us a long time. Now I'm laughing that you can get what we did in 1 year, you could get in a decent course now in a couple of weeks. So at the very beginning, I started to practice mainly because I wanted to work faster, to have nice tricks for our guests, and also to kind of stand out from other clubs, from other places. So it was a pure bartending, and everything was dedicated. All flair was strictly combined with cocktails, with service. We didn't do competitions, we didn't do shows. We were strictly walking behind the bar. And then from time to time, after 1 or 2 years, we came up with an idea. How about organizing maybe a shows in the bar? Because people really loved it. Those were times where I remember, even though we had the basic moves, we had hundreds of people hands up screaming. It was fantastic. So
Cool.
We started to organize first shows in the way that 5-10 guys were performing one after another. I still have these DVDs. I will never show it to anyone because the moves we were doing and the shows we were doing were very basic, but everyone enjoyed big time, and that gave us power, gave us a kind of like a passion to move forward. We saw that the crowd enjoyed, people really enjoyed. Let's go for a competition, and that's how I started to compete. I went to a couple local competitions, and then very early I started to travel for competitions as well. So it was first competition in Romania, and then Paris Fair Open 2004, my first international competitions. And that's how it started. Then it was also the time where it was tough for us, for myself and Marek Posłuszny. He's another world champion from Poland, my friend from here. Those were the times that we didn't have money for flights, for tickets to travel to another country. So it was a bit of a struggle at the beginning because obviously we weren't winning. We weren't earning any money from the competition. So we just wanted to go there to compete, to learn from the best, to see how Christian Delpech is doing it, or other big guys. Yeah. And we always had this dream that one day we want to we want to be on the stage, we want to be with the best, and we want to be on that top three, on that podium on every single competition. So whatever I went to, my first time in Paris Fair Open 2004, I set a kind of a goal, and I said one day I want to be on the top three on this competition. So it took me a while, because obviously for first 2-3 years we're somewhere in the top 10, let's say 7th, 8th, 9th. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of time. Flair bartending is very difficult and time consuming, and not only you have to come up with the moves, which is I think the most difficult thing, that you have to come up with your own moves. Then you have to master them to the point that you can perform them on the stage. And then you have to come up with the music, with all the crowd interaction, then with the cocktails. Then you have to mix it all together and deliver on that day, in that place, full of people, with blurry lights, with the pressure, with judges. So it really takes a lot of practicing and dedication. So that's how we started. 2004, 2003, first competitions, and then I think that the biggest day of those times for me was 2008. July, I was competing in Las Vegas on Nations Flair Challenge. That was a competition, but then 3 divisions, over 100 competitors.
Wow.
All of the big guys. Christian Delpech was judging, but I was Rodrigo, Tom Dyer, Daniel Uribe, Dario Doimo, all the guys, Vladimir Buryanov. Super difficult competition. I was the year before. Oh, maybe I should start from the year before. So I went the first time 2007. I was first time, in Las Vegas. It was mind blowing. I was 22, and my friend Marek, he was 21. Just a week after he turned 21, so he could enter the casino. So he was the youngest on the competition.
Yeah.
And then I went there. Remember, I spoke with Vladimir. Vlad said that he has Baccaris, all of the bottles, so no worries, don't bring anything. I went there. I didn't know back then. It was no experience, obviously, that you have 750 in States and we have 700s. There is a 50 milliliters difference in the bottles.
Yes.
And it makes a huge difference, the neck, the bottom, everything. So I pretty much dropped everything, and I didn't qualify. I was 11th. And that day in 2007, I said, wow, I want to come back here next year. I will practice every single day, and I will do my best to get in the final. So that I said the goal. I came back a year later, super prepared. I mean, I never been that prepared. I was practicing months, like 2-3 months. I was only repeating the same sequence, which was 6 minutes. So imagine every day you can do it 15 times. So altogether 500 times, 400 times the same routine from the beginning to the end, with every single move, the same music, the same cocktails. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of time, but well, it pays off, because I went there, I qualified as a second, and then I won. And that was the day that really changed my life, as that was the first big international competition with all of these guys. I remember watching DVDs of Rodrigo Delpech from Legends 2001. That was a competition, that was the only DVD we bought with our friends here in Poland. And we watched it so many times that finally the DVD got broken. Because there was no YouTube, no Facebook, no Instagram. We were just watching this DVD every single time we were closing that club. We were sitting and watching the same routines every single day. And I still remember Rodrigo, Christian, every single move, routine, music, to the point. And then when I went there 2007, I was asking guys for pictures, because obviously they were my heroes. They still are great bartenders, a huge inspiration for me. And then the year after, to win with them was a dream come true. I couldn't believe it, and that really changed my life, because I proved myself that with hard work, with dedication, I can do this. I can compete with the biggest guys. So then in 2008, I started to practice even harder, and started to practice even more.
So you won that competition,
yeah? Yeah. 2008 was
okay.
I won the Nations Flair Challenge.
Just so fast talking, but I just skipped like.
Yeah, sorry, because I started to talk maybe too fast. Sorry about that. So 2007.
It's important moment,
Oh yeah. So 2007 was my first time in Las Vegas, and then I didn't qualify. And then year after, that was one of the most important comps. And then I started to practice even more. coming back to your question, how it is to win a world championship. It's all about the dedication and hard work. There is no secret. I was always probably the worst coordinated from all of the guys. If you see me dancing one day on a party, you will know why. I mean, I never been good in basketball, in dancing. I don't have this, skills of. So I had to practice even more than all of the guys.
Okay.
And I did. From 2008, I started to practice even more, and I think for that 5-6 years, I was practicing the most out of all of the guys. I was practicing a lot.
So dedication and a lot of work actually is the key. Is what you think is the key. Yeah. Okay.
And if I can mention one more thing,
Definitely
is a good organization.
like
I was studying on an Academy of Physical Education. Sorry, 1 second. I will just ask my friends. Sorry, there were some noises, and I don't know if they disturb or not. So I was studying on the Academy of Physical Education here in Warsaw. And I had a lot of lessons from one of the best trainers from different sports, and I started to look at the flair from that perspective. So we had a very good trainer who trained the swimmers, national Olympic team of the swimmers or boxers, and I was looking at different ways on how to practice. Not only your body, but also mentally, and how they practice. So I was lucky that I studied on those times where we had the Olympic champions from Beijing. I remember sharing with them same swimming pool and watching them practicing. And I've seen how much dedication they put in the practicing. Like swimmers, for example, the Polish gold medalist from Beijing, she was practicing every day 7 hours. She was swimming for 6-7 hours every day, and it's of course a lot of organization behind it. And I was thinking, how can I improve my practicing? Back in the days, I was just catching up with my friends and flipping bottles somewhere, listening to music, talking jokes, and that's it. You could spend 10 hours, but you didn't really gain new skills. And then I started to practice
for your
yeah, it's great time. Yeah, it's great time. But before competition, if you want to win, you need to put something more than just this, and that's what I did. I set up my practice area in a small room just by myself, and I started to practice in the way that I had the statistics for everything. I scheduled the trainings in the way. I look after the diet and all other things, and I tried to put a bit more than of strategy into this, not just okay, let's go and flip bottles. So I had my own way of training, and I think that helped me a lot. And even now I use some of these techniques to run a bar or to learn new things, because there is a couple small things, but one is really cool and I recommend everyone to use is, if you are weak in something, try to dedicate 20 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day just on this one thing. And you don't need anything else. After 3 months, after half of the year, you will see that you are very good at it already, whatever it is. So when I was back in the days, I wasn't good in a spoon with finger rolls with a spoon. So I was basically every day trying for 15 minutes, not more, 15-20 minutes. And after a couple months, I started to be very good at it. Same with when I opened the bar later on. I obviously missed some of the informations on different categories of spirits, or is such a big knowledge behind running a cocktail bar. So I was sometimes just using this 20 minutes. So for example, I was lacking some information out of the rum. I was researching for 20 minutes a day, rum, for a month, doing notes, coming back to them. And then after a month, I started to feel very confident about it. And I use this technique, which I get from Flair, now on a regular basis. Whatever I want to learn, I just do it every day. You just need to be consistent, and then you can really, really grow. And it's same with the Flair. If you want to be good, you need to practice and be consistent and do it regularly. It cannot be in the way that you go flip bottles for a week and then for a month you do nothing. it doesn't work this way. So I think a lot of these things and the discipline and all these aspects, even though I'm not competing, I'm not practicing for last 5 years, I still use them. I still use them on a regular basis.
That was amazing advice. Thank you very much. It's really great because 15 minutes a day is possible. I mean, okay, maybe sometimes not every day, but at least 5 days a week for 15 minutes to do anything is possible. And you can
Big
really.
time. And whenever someone is saying that he doesn't have 15 minutes a day, I'm like, go to your iPhone and check you have the average time on your phone.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's above 15 minutes. So I know some people are walking on the phone. I know you are doing emails on the phone, but very often you are just scrolling up and down. I'm sorry, but a total not important things for you. I mean, this time you can focus on important things, and whatever it is for you, it could be whatever knowledge, new skill, or learning language, whatever. And you don't need more. And every single person has this 15-20 minutes a day, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, that's a great advice. Okay, Tom. So, how did the winning change your life?
Well,
like real things.
it changed. It didn't change that much, to be honest. It changed in one way because I was always afraid. Can you hear me? Because I lost you for a second. You are here, yeah?
I love you too. So, if it would happen again or something, you don't hear
I
me?
think I can hear you with. I can hear your microphone is.
Can you try to unplug? Unplug.
Mine is working well, but I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I cannot hear you.
Okay, let me try to. Yeah. And now? No.
Try.
Okay.
The same. The same.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm afraid it's the same. Yeah, I cannot hear you. Is
Can you try?
Oh, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah? Yeah, I can hear you now.
I reconnected. Yeah. Sometimes it happens with this system. So
okay.
if, for example, if you lose me or something too much, you also can try to go out and then go back.
Reconnect. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's
a live streams. Yeah, we can't do much about it.
Yeah, I guess in 10 years it'll be different, but now
probably, yeah, probably, but it's still good. I mean, like, imagine how many things we could do this quarantine and this time, and
exactly.
How lucky we are that we have this devices and internet and everything. You could attend some seminars. I did some courses. I did so many things, some talks.
Could talk now.
Yeah, being Miami, Warsaw.
Yeah,
so it's
exactly
a good side of these times. So coming back to your question, I don't think that changed it drastically, but that definitely proved that that the path I chose was good. That was a good decision, because obviously what people see is the bright side of the moment you are on the stage, the you're winning or whatever, but they don't see everything behind, and it's a lot of work and dedication, and that was also a hard decision to go into this direction. And practicing 6, 7, 8 hours a day, that means you don't have time pretty much for other things. And
it's like full-time
of
job.
course you have I did some shifts, obviously, to earn money for trips, but that was my main thing. I didn't go out, I didn't party, I didn't spend time with friends, and I was just practicing every day. And so obviously you have up and downs, and sometimes when you are on the lower part, you are thinking, was it a good decision or not? And you are, of course, sometimes you are thinking like this. So coming back to your question, first world championship title definitely proved that was to myself. I proved to myself that that was a good decision. That was worth it. And all the dedication I put into practicing. And beside this, of course, it also helps to compete later on from other side, because you also get a bit of a pressure later on. Wherever you go, you are already a world champion, so you cannot be bad. You can have some mistakes, but you shouldn't be terrible, right? So
Yeah.
there is a bit of pressure, but same time, of course, business wise is also it's helping you build your name and get a new better job, travel to better to cool places, doing shows or seminars. So I was very fortunate that I started to compete in those days, and I'm very grateful for it, because doing what I love and competing and doing courses or shows, I travel pretty much whole world. I visited 72 countries or 73 countries.
Wow. 72.
On and then some places I've been like 10 15 times, and from I know Beijing, Tokyo, Philippines, all the way through Europe, Africa, to States, to Mexico, and it's been amazing. Wherever you go, the community of bartenders, I think, is very special. Wherever you go, you speak kind of same language. I'm not talking about English, but you know,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
people are like we now. Yeah, we never met, but you know, we have common passion, and we can talk for hours. So it's the same all around the world, and it's been amazing. So I think thanks to this title, I could travel more, I could meet more people doing more of these things, which just made me even happier.
Wow, that sounds so amazing, and it's so inspiring for people who don't know where to go, in bartending industry, or who want just to make money. It's possible to travel the world to of course to compete in some kind of competition, and to improve, and then to travel and to meet cultures, people. So it's really amazing and inspiring. And Tom,
It is, and
70.
just one thing. Bartending is amazing because once you speak language, and you can walk wherever in the world. I mean, this is pretty great. I believe you're from Lithuania. When did you move to Miami?
1 year ago.
And you are walking there as a bartender, and I'm sure you are enjoying the city and the place.
Yes,
So
yes,
this
true.
is amazing about bartending, that once you speak language, you're good. You can walk. You know, next day you can get a job in, I know, Hawaii, and you can go over there, and we can really travel and do, if you enjoy, of course, traveling. I love traveling, so that was always the thing that really kept me motivating. That I had some trips. And I was always preparing for them, and that's pretty much the coolest part of traveling and being a flat bartender for many years.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Tomek, tell me which trip, uh, not just which trip, but maybe why was the most remarkable for you? Like 72 countries. So I guess were a lot of interesting things to see, to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
some experiences, or some funny things or crazy things to
Oh
happen.
yeah.
But what, maybe you have one story to share. What was the most that
It's
stuck in your head?
always
And when I ask you, you immediately, oh, this. You are.
it's hard to pick one. It's so many. I mean, every single year, every single couple of months, there was something special happening, and I always believe that it's not only about the place, but it's always about the people you are meeting over there.
Mhm.
And I think going back to 2008-9, the obviously the Vegas, first time go to Vegas to see all of the guys and see, flair and the best flair bars and those guys in action. It was something remarkable. But at the same time, I remember a couple months later, I was invited to Cape Town, and I met some of the most amazing people in my life over there. And I was going back and forward. I was there all the 4 times in that year,
Okay.
spending some of the happiest days of my life with them, traveling and doing some shows over there. Philippines were very special. Every single trip was I keep in my mind, and now, especially in the lockdown, I like to just
Remember.
think about them, and there's so many memories and great people. Last year I had a pretty special trip too. I did a show in Airbus 380 Emirates. We were flying from Dubai to London, I was
Okay.
invited by Emirates and Dilmati, and I was doing a flare show, first flare show in the sky. Because
How
in
was it?
Airbus 380, they have a bar. In the first class, there is a bar with a bartender.
Oh,
So
really?
I was
Oh, this is a
preparing
big
for this
one.
one. Yeah, they sent me dimensions of the bar. It's super small. It's literally like this. Ceiling is here, so I couldn't do much. But people enjoyed it. That was funny because the pilots say now in the first class there is a show of Tomek Malek, so you can go to the bar. And literally, I was in the bar. The place was packed. It is for 25 or 30 people maybe, but still it was packed. So I did a show later on. The drinks were handed out to all of the first class and business class. It was fantastic. I mean, like some of these things. If we go back to 2003 and someone told me that I will be flipping
Well,
bottles in the Emirates in the first class, and I wouldn't believe. So
yeah.
some of these trips are super special, and I will always cherish them. And actually now I'm working on the blog because obviously we had a lot of free time now, so I started to write down all of the trips and all of the places. When I made the outline, it was 74 countries. Actually not 72, 74 countries, and in most of them
Amazing.
I visited a couple cities, so there's a lot of stories, and I
Oh, yeah.
hope it will be ready. I think middle January, I will launch it, and the name is Tour de Bar. So it's all about touring the bars in different cities and countries, and I hopefully when the COVID will finish, I will keep doing that. Wherever I will go, I will add another chapter. So now I need to write down the base. I'm on like the 15th or 16th trip.
Still
So it's a long
tired.
way to
Still a
go.
lot to go.
And the best trip, and I'm one of the best trip, but definitely the best party in my life, in my entire life.
Okay.
I'm 35. The best party was the Trinidad Tobago Carnival. I was invited by Angostura Rum. This
Okay.
year we did it in February 2020, so that was my last trip before COVID, and we
Oh, so it
spent.
was recently, just recently.
Yeah, it was my
I
last trip,
mean,
obviously. Yeah, it's been almost a year now, but I was super lucky because that was something mind blowing. They really took care of us super well, and we were part of a carnival, which is a beautiful experience. I mean, 5 days of partying over there with I think one of the happiest nation on the planet. Everyone is dancing, smiling, rum is everywhere. It was just fantastic. So I
yeah,
remember
but
I came back home. I said, I'm not drinking anymore. And then 2 weeks later, COVID happened, and
well.
maybe I shouldn't say so.
Yeah, that's that's a nice story. Okay, Tomek, a little bit getting back to your those times when you were preparing a lot. Uh, how many hours you say? So actually, yeah. So you already mentioned that you was preparing for 7 8 hours a day. Was it every day? Every day you were doing for like 7 8 hours for playing. Like
It depends. So I always I had two types of training: the one before competitions and the one in the time where I don't have any competitions. But
okay,
back then, Flair was really big, and there were competitions every week somewhere. There were
okay,
literally 200, 250 competitions a year. So if you like, you can compete every couple of days. Of course, some of them small, some of them, I don't know, in Philippines or in Peru, so you don't travel that far for some comps. But here in Europe, every 2 3 weeks, we had something big. Warfare
okay.
Association was already organizing a Grand Slam. This is a league of bartenders
Mm-hmm.
with 7 8 competitions a year. So I was traveling always for those ones, plus a roadhouse, which is always the most important competition for me. It
Yeah,
was for all the years. So I was
yeah.
always the whole year I was preparing to roadhouse. Uh, so in between those competitions, I try to practice 4 5 6 hours a day, just coming up with new moves and working on the base of the moves I had from a previous comp. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I knew that there is a competition in another 3 weeks, for example, I started to work with my schedule, which I work on the Academy of Physical Education, the hardcore one. That
Mm-hmm.
means every day for last 3 weeks before competition, I had planned in a way that I'm practicing. The training was structured. Sometimes it was 2 trainings a day. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to bore you with all the details, but altogether it was 6 7 sometimes 8 hours, and before rollouts it's been even more.
So it's like getting
Mostly,
ripped in flair bartending.
the thing is, you cannot get really ripped. You know why? Because it's the shakers bottles are very light, so you actually burn your muscles when you're repeating the same thing for a whole day. I found out that, and also you cannot go to the gym and practice too hard. Now I started to do gym and boxing, and I really enjoy. But back in the days, I couldn't do these sports. First of all, I didn't want to get injured, and then I would need to stop competing for some time. Second of all, if you, for example, grow your biceps very big,
I know.
you have a smaller reach behind the back,
Yeah,
and those small things really. They really change the way you are doing some moves, and sometimes it's about millimeters. Really, we were walking sometimes on the way that you have 5 or 6 objects. It's so complicated sometimes that really those small things. So I didn't use the gym for those 15 years I was competing. I never did
Oh,
I tried not to do gym. Yeah.
it's like a gym for 5-6 hours, like
Yeah.
gym player. It's kind of okay, not the hard gym, not like that, for body weight, like bodybuilders, but for it's very
It's a lot
much
of
cardio.
movements and coordination, and I even wrote the master degree on Academy of Physical Education about flair bartending. So I was
Really?
trying to identify uh, all of the assets that the best flair bartenders have. So what do you need to have to become a great flair bartender? So I was doing a test around 50 flair bartenders here in Poland on the time of the reaction, on different the range of hand, so many different, like 20 different categories, and
Hmm.
found out that the top 5 guys, they have a great time of reaction. This is something you learn by a flair, that you can control 2-3 things at the same time, and you have a very fast reaction. So we're
Hmm.
doing this test, which is the test was designed for Formula One drivers, on how quick you can react. We had the big screen on the different angles. You had to put the buttons. I don't know if you know the test, but turns out
No,
that
but
the
I
five
can imagine it's something.
5 top guys, they were best 1% in Poland, out of sportsmen and everyone. So it was the result was pretty amazing.
Wow.
So same time, what I try to practice before, especially roadouts, when you have 8 minutes on the stage, you need to be in shape for 8 minutes, because if walk, you are all the time when you are performing down on your legs. So obviously you need to have strong legs for 8 minutes, and you do a lot of movements. You don't want to stop in the middle and in the shape that you cannot
Yeah.
catch your breath. So what I tried to do, I was trying to do 8 minutes intervals. So I was, for example, when I was swimming, I was going full on 8 minutes. When I was running full on 8 minutes, and then stop, and then 8 minutes, just to prepare your body
That's very, very good thing.
into 8 minutes time. So then whenever I was on the stage, I was ready for that 8 minutes.
Okay.
These small things, but when you practice fly, you don't really have time for anything else, to be honest. If you want to be on the top level with the top guys, and these guys, they didn't really give a lot of time for me to do other things. They were practicing all the time. So whenever I was calling Marek, and what are you doing? I'm practicing. I was jumping into car and going to my practice room, and same with other guys. They put the bar very high, so to win with them, you just need to practice more. So then you end up doing 8 hours a day, every day.
Wow, that's a dedication. That's when we talked with Tom Dyer. He also said the same things. Basically, it's like dedication and hard work
Hard
and
work, yeah.
practicing also 8 hours. Like, yeah, it's dedication. That's what most people don't see and don't realize that if you want to do something like in the world class level, you have to just dedicate all
Big time.
your,
Yeah,
all your
I
time,
heard
all the
once that you need to dedicate 10,000 of
hours.
very well worked hours to be on the top level in whatever. Of course, it doesn't touch some of the sports which you need to do from a very, like, if you want to be a top tennis player, you need to start very early, or maybe you have a great talent. But in flair bartending as well, I think is such a hard way to get on the top. To be, that's why you have even now guys who are winning the competitions is 4 or 5 guys all the time, the same guys. And sometimes I'm now judging and co-organizing competitions with World Association, and guys are asking, oh, why all the time the same guys are winning? I'm like, it's like in tennis, to beat Nadal, to beat Djokovic, is also 5 same guys winning 3 5 guys, in tennis as well. And
Probably.
in those top sports, I mean, these guys were just practicing the most for last 15 years or 10 years, and
Yeah.
it's not easy to beat them. I mean, now you
Because,
need to bring something more to the game. So if you
because
don't practice more, yeah,
sorry. Just
yeah,
wanted to
sure,
say
sure,
that you don't have more than 24 hours, and if they are
yeah.
already practicing all the time, you just can't add more hours.
And imagine,
Like,
and these guys were practicing for last 10 years already that hard. So
exactly.
that's why
So
it also reached the point that I'm a bit afraid that it's very difficult for young guys to beat these top guys. And I can imagine why they are also losing motivation from time to time. And I was in the very same position when I started. I was watching Christian Delpech or Rodrigo performing. I was like, man, it's impossible. I mean, how can you beat these guys? They are just on the top of the game, and it's super difficult. And for now, I'm pretty sure whenever guys are saying Stefanov or Luka Valentin, Marek Poslushny or Denis Trifanov, myself, I'm watching now these guys. I'm like, I wouldn't be even close now to. I would need to practice, for a year. I don't know, 10 hours a day, or even not enough. So it is a very tough way and path to get on the top three, or the top place. One of
but
is not about the luck. It's nothing about the luck. It's all about the skills. You of course you can have a bit of a luck. It's also important in some of the, but I think it's all about decisions at some point. Is also about the nerves. If you and the stress. If you can control stress, and how also you work with the pressure. And I think mental part of flair bartending is around 50% of everything. You can have the best routine, you can have the best moves, but if you cannot deliver them on the stage, especially big stage when the big pressure is, then you're never gonna succeed. So that's why it's also very important to practice not only physical aspect but also your head, and this is another thing I worked very hard on when I was on Academy of Physical Education, to how to practice in your head. So how to do a visualization, how to go through your routine. That's what I took from swimmers. Whenever they travel to the Olympic Games, they are practicing. They sit and they go through all the sequence, because they also
I had
repeat
that.
the sequence. They go every single move, whatever they do, they have in their heads. You build a muscle memory. We call it muscle memory. So whenever you are on the Olympic Games, they are fighting for milliseconds or half of the second. It's no time for thinking. You just, your body need to go.
Yeah.
And if you are trained well, you have every single millimeter of your body and every single move choreographed. And the same with flair. Whenever you go, like for example, Rodolph's final, you need to build a bit of the muscle memory. You need to know what is your next move, what is your how you will finish your cocktail, when you will shake. You cannot go and freestyle. It's impossible. You need to have these 8 minutes really well planned, and every single, I'm sure, Tom Dyer, Marek, or all the previous world champions, if you ask them, they know exactly every second. If you play their music, they will know what they are doing in that second. And this is all.
Yeah.
This also coming when you are practicing. You close your eyes, you put your headphones with your music, and you just go move by move. You do a visualization, and this is another way. How can you practice being at home, or wherever you travel? You are in the plane or in the car. Maybe not when you are driving, but
Yeah,
you
it's not
are
good.
not a bad idea. So that's
Except
also what I
Tesla, if you're driving Tesla or Tesla driving you,
maybe,
so
yeah, if you have these crazy devices. But so this is another thing, and what I was about to say. So this practicing the mental part, and also how can you control your stress, and this is also some of these techniques I'm still using. How can you control your breath? So if you are too stressed, you can lower it down by small breaths and so many other aspects. And other way around, if you are too relaxed, you can also, put it a bit up. So some of these techniques I'm still using whenever I'm doing some seminar, or I'm doing still some shows even. or a big stage, I know how to control these small things, and it just comes with a bit of experience and time, I think. But altogether, because we maybe I focus too much on the hard work and the practicing
No, it's okay. It's very
is
good.
a
It's
is
very,
a great.
very valuable advices.
I just wanted to stress that this is a great fun. At the end of the day, people who were competing and with me, and then all the people around were just some of my best friends. So it was beside the hard work, it was great fun. I couldn't imagine a better career. We were traveling, having such a great time. So competition is one thing, but we're always staying in those countries for a couple of days, and it was just amazing. So it's all together a bit of a hard work, but also, of course, a lot of good fun as well.
True.
A lot of
Yeah,
good
very
fun.
nice. And Tomek, one more thing for the finishing about the competitions. How have you counted? How many competitions did you have for your career, for your
Yes,
life?
I did 186,
Oh,
184, something like this.
all
And
right.
I wanted to go to 200, and I wanted to do a last routine, but obviously I had some family problems, and I didn't finish in the way I wanted to. I had no goodbye competition. I always visualized the goodbye competition, and
You still have
uh,
time, you know. I mean,
well, I was
why?
I was
Why
even
not?
thinking about it, but 5 years after finishing, now to do a goodbye routine would be,
You
and
know, maybe.
probably I wouldn't be in the top three, and I don't want to finish from the 10th position.
You
So
know, sometimes.
I would need to practice my ass off now. I'm too lazy.
Sometimes maybe you need to just make an amazing show, not the best flair, only flair, but
Yeah, that's
all what gets
that's true.
points that people say
Definitely, I
we.
will do some goodbye show if I'm gonna be doing a last show, because I'm still performing with Marek. We are doing a tandem show, and we are
I saw
traveling,
that.
and we do some really nice shows in beautiful places. So we also thinking, we are not getting younger, so one day definitely we'll do a last show, and it's gonna be something big. We'll try to make it something big, but for now, I think with competitions, I'm done. And a lot of people ask me if I want to compete again. And to be honest, I just reached the point when I'm like, okay, uh,
You
after
know,
100,
veteran competitions now as we
maybe
do
if
it
they're gonna
double
be
fold.
for dinosaurs, like the old, maybe it's
over
an option.
50, over 50, when everybody like.
Where you go on the stage on this thing, like the old.
And one more number thing. How many competitions did it take you to win that in 2007, 8?
How many I won before?
How many competitions did it take you to
Ah,
win the
that
first
was, I
place?
think, my 40. Before,
Awesome.
I was winning some of the comps before, but
Mhm,
the local, like in Poland, or
mhm.
uh, I think we had a competition in Lithuania, even in
Could be.
Warsaw, in Sopot, in Europe. I was winning already some comps in Europe,
Ah,
but the big one, that like with all big boys, that was 2008, the nations. So it took me like a good
okay.
5 years and or 4 years, and I think first Roadhouse World Champion title was 2009. So that was the first, the biggest competition you can win those times. That was Roadhouse. So that was 2009. I was probably one of the youngest who won. I was 24, 25. And
Mhm.
I was
Wow.
already, because when I
Amazing.
jumped behind the bar, I didn't mention it when I was working at the club. I wasn't in the legal age. I was 17. I couldn't
Okay.
buy alcohol, but I was already pouring, as my friend was the manager. So we were
No,
kind of,
in Lithuania was the same. I think.
yeah, this old dodgy, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
In America, it's very strict, but
I
in
can
those
imagine. Yeah, you
those
wouldn't be able.
countries, it's a bit lighter. Used to be, not now.
Used to be.
Uh,
Now it's also
yeah,
strict
now
in
it's
here, but
also different. Yeah.
back in the days it was possible. So I was also very lucky that I started early. I was 17 when I was already practicing,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that
That's a good.
also gave me a bit of time, before I could even compete. I was already practicing, because you cannot enter competition before you are in the legal age of,
Yeah. True.
so that was also early, let's say.
Okay, Tomek, that's a very nice and inspiring story, and I had a great time listening to it. And also, I would wanted to ask you, not about the competitions now, just about bartenders. Let's say,
Hmm.
what are three most important things that you believe makes a great bartender? I mean,
I
let's
think.
separate like a normal or good bartender from really great bartender. But it's a bartender, not a competition bartender.
Uh-huh. I
Bar
think
bartender, let's say. When you come
I
to the bar, what are those things when you say, "Oh, this bartender is great," like.
I think is character and the way bartender works behind the bar. It's not about the skills at the end of the day. I mean, flair skills. It's not about how difficult or unique your homemade ingredients can be. It's all about hospitality. It's all about creating this unique atmosphere in your bar.
Mm-hmm,
And I've seen some of the best flair bartenders behind the bar doing good, and I've seen some of the best mixologists doing good behind the bar, but I've seen amazing bartenders who never competed in the one competition, and I had the best time of my life because in the bar, because they were just amazing hosts. And
mm-hmm,
it doesn't mean that if you are winning a lot of competitions, whatever it is, mixology or flair, you are then behind the bar, you will be the best.
mm-hmm,
You were the best on that day on that competition, and you have definitely amazing skills, but behind the bar, in my opinion, is all about character of the bartender, the charisma, his hospitality skills, and that attention. How much attention he's giving to his guests. If he's open, he's positive, he's charismatic, he's funny, he's of course he need to deliver great cocktails as well. He need to, I also look
At
always
least
on the
first couple, then later.
yeah, at least yeah, as long as you remember the flavors. But I also pay attention of technical aspect because I really like when he also or she can put a little bit of a style behind the service. But in here in the rules, what we are trying to focus, we don't flair here too much. I'm the only one who is doing a little bit of craft flair. The ceiling is very low. It's
Mm,
literally in here, so it's all about conversation, it's all about fun, it's all about
mhm,
creating this vibe for our guests. We are a small bar, we have maybe 55 seats without the
mhm,
garden. During the summer we have a garden, so you really have time for personal contact with everyone, with so you have time to come up with special cocktail for this person, story, joke, and you can really give this personal
mhm.
kind of service. And this is something I really look for and I admire, and I like to be in these places where you can get this. So this is also what we created in here in Warsaw in the Roots Bar. This part of the service based on the hospitality, on the conversation, on the best possible service is the most important for us.
Great. I look forward one day to come to visit.
When you are coming back to Lithuania, you will be so close that you can come by for a drink.
Yeah, I'm planning next summer for 1 2 months to come back if nothing happens
Vilnius, or
again.
where you are from Vilnius, or
I originally no, but I lived a long time in Vilnius. But now when I come back to all people, all of relatives, everybody. So
yeah,
everywhere.
fantastic. Definitely let us know. Do you know one of the best flair bartenders from Lithuania, from Vegas?
Mindaugas?
Mindaugas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Big
don't know
Mick.
him personally. I mean, I never met personally, but yeah, I know Mindaugas
If you
very
like,
well.
I can put you in touch if you are looking for a
Oh, we are
guest
friends in
for one of
Facebook.
your next chats. Definitely, Big Mink is a person who he was the first flair bartender in Harrah's Casino in Vegas,
Mm,
and he's been walking there. He's probably the most experienced flair bartender walking in the bar for such a long time, and I've been privileged to be served by him a couple times, and he is just a legend. It was the great service, the great personality as well, and the great flair bartender as well. He was competing. He was second on the world championship a couple times in Roadhouse. So definitely a
amazing.
person.
I know him, but don't know his story, and that's a good way to know his story.
Oh
When to
yeah, he was
invite
traveling,
to.
competing. Yeah, he actually
Okay,
finished before I started. So he was
okay.
late 90s, beginning
Even
of 2000.
so he's even yeah. Actually, he's older, a bit
He's
older
old school. He's old school.
It's another generation. Yeah, I will
Yeah, I'm
definitely
old school, but he's even
even
more
more
old
old.
school. Yeah.
By the way, Tomek, have you ever tried a mixology competition, or maybe you planning?
I did a few. I did a few back in the days. 2006. I even won once
Oh
cocktail
yeah,
competition. Yeah, but
okay,
those were the times, to be honest, when 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was not many good cocktail
yeah,
competitions. The only ones were made by the IBA and the Polish IBA. I'm not a fan. I never been a member, and it's a lot of kind of, I don't want to say bad words, but well, it's not
Mhm,
the type of bartending I'm passionate about, to be
mhm.
honest. So I didn't want to compete in these competitions because it was very super classic with like
Yeah,
showing
yeah,
them, you
I
cannot
know
use
that.
your homemades or fresh ingredients, kind of like So and then first what world class or Bacardi Legacy, it was what 2013 or 2014.
In Lithuania, for world class came in 2016, I think,
Or
only,
even 16
or
or
no,
so,
15 or
to be honest,
16 only.
I was already finishing a fair bartending career. I was after 186 competitions. I was done with competitions. I didn't want to do any more competitions. I mean, I think I would enjoy some of the like the world class, the rounds that you have speedrun, you have cocktail round, you have
Yeah, it's very
different
interesting.
things that are really exciting. And definitely, if the world class was happening 2006, 7, 8, I would definitely take part. But now, to be honest, I'm just finished with competing. I did so many times that I want to focus here on the bar and on the training, on organizing competitions, on judging competitions, and this is what drives me now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I also joined World Fair Association. I'm responsible for a Grand Slam,
Hmm.
and we're supposed to have 7 amazing competitions this year.
Oh,
One in
I hope
Panama,
it will happen.
Cancun, Las Vegas, and a couple other places here in Europe. But of course, everything is postponed or cancelled. But hopefully next year, maybe something in Miami. So I will definitely let you know.
Yeah,
And
let me know definitely. We will meet for a drink for sure.
oh yeah,
And
I really want to visit so many bars in Miami. I have on the list. I never had a chance to visit.
okay, so great but no, not if when you come, because sooner or later you will. So just let me know, and it
I
would
will
be
definitely let you know. Yeah,
fun to meet you. All right, so thank you very much, Tomek, for the conversation. Actually, for sharing your
my
story,
pleasure.
more than a conversation. So that was very inspiring and very nice to listen. And to hear all the wisdom, because we have a lot of how to say that, like I would say like wisdom, to take from how to prepare for the competition. Very logical, not logical, very very unmystified, like no mystic, nothing, and it's
Thank
very
you. I
easy
mean,
to follow
some of
those
these
things.
things I was sharing also on a couple seminars and workshops I was doing for people who are preparing for cocktail competitions, because I believe you can use the same techniques. Maybe
Everywhere,
you don't need to
any
practice
kind
eight
of
hours or 7 hours a
competition.
day, but just visualization, working with breath to control your stress level, and also preparing. So whenever you have 5 minutes or 6 minutes on the stage, you need to plan it well. You don't go and freestyle. You need to know what you prove. So even with Polish competitors on cocktail competitions, we've been practicing a lot together, and I was sharing some of the tips, and it works for every single competition. I think, is it cocktail or flat? It's all about planning, good schedule, and then dedication
To
to
train.
make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely that would help. Because I haven't had any flair competition. I'm not. I don't know flair. Yeah, I know couple moves, but I was doing a lot of mixology competitions.
Oh,
So
nice. You did
yeah,
world class or some
yeah.
this?
I had world class one time. Well, in Lithuania, one year I did. I finished fourth in Lithuania,
Oh,
so
amazing.
it wasn't bad. Still way to go, so I had a lot of them, and everything what you say were things that I already used and there are things that I didn't choose, and now I listen to you and say, oh, okay, I need to use that next time,
Let me know. Is way more. So whenever you will be preparing, let me know. I will be happy to maybe, if I can, and it will be possible to share some more with you. It will be a pleasure.
Okay, great, fantastic. I think we will definitely. Maybe we will make some seminar on just competitions like what you do. Okay, but it's
Yep.
in the next one. So thank you very much, Tomek. It was really a very interesting story, and I
Thank
took a
you.
lot from it. And I believe people who will be watching this podcast will take a lot of as well, and will become better bartenders, contestants, or just people in general. So thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Thank
much.
you,
It was a
everybody.
pleasure. It was a pleasure. Wherever you are in Warsaw, Poland, let me know. Join us in the roots, and I wish you all the best. Stay strong and healthy in these crazy times,
Yeah,
and hopefully to see you all soon. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
it was definitely. Bye, Tomek.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you.
Thank
Ciao.
you.